Hello everyone, hope you're all well. So I thought I'd pop on another video. I wasn't sure what to do, but then over the weekend I was looking at some Facebook posts, and one of these groups that I'm a part of, it's sort of South Africans having moved to the UK, Facebook groups, quite entertaining, because obviously as a South African, you kind of, you're experiencing the same thing those people are, and so it's a lovely way to connect. But anyway, this chap had basically listed like 68 things about the UK that South Africans might not know, just for people kind of coming across. And I get that a lot. I get people phoning me. In fact, I have a family that just recently over the weekend immigrated to the UK, and you're constantly getting questions from people about experiences and what to do and what not to do and how things are, etc. So I thought what I'd do is today just give you sort of a list of 10 things that are different in the UK versus South Africa, because you might not know. So let me kind of enlighten you. The first thing is data is cheap. So you come across this country, you can get a cheap cell phone, you can get cheap data. I'm talking £10 a month for unlimited calls, and 6 gigs plus of data per month. When compared to South Africa, I mean, we're talking, this is dirt cheap. And service is brilliant everywhere, so it doesn't matter which cell phone provider or which service you choose, it's generally really good. I'm with O2, but I know people on various other ones, and nobody's got any complaints. Then we're going to talk about groceries. Number 2, groceries. Groceries are generally very cheap, depending on where you go. So you've got so much choice. You can go from like the cheapest of the cheap, sort of like a Budgeons, right up to the most expensive, which is sort of your Marks and Spencers and your Waitrose, and everything in between, your Sainsbury's, your Tesco's, your Aldi's, etc., etc. So there's a lot of choice. And depending on where you go, you can get reasonably priced groceries. The difference with the groceries here is that you pretty much have to do it all yourself. So in Pick and Pay, for instance, in South Africa, you'd walk to the store, get your groceries into a trolley, go to the cashier, and then they pretty much scan everything for you and bag it for you. Here, not the same thing. So you've got 3 options when you walk into Sainsbury's, for instance. You can either take a machine with you and scan all your goodies as you're doing your grocery shop and pretty much just pay for it on your way out. Alternatively, you can self-scan, so you can buy your groceries or put them in the trolley, and then you go to a self-scan area where you pretty much put it in this weighing area, you scan the goodies, put it into bags yourself, and off you go. Or you can go to a physical human being at the cashier's desk, scan your products, but you're bagging it yourself, and they scan at a speed. Let me tell you, they scan at a speed. People just work really quickly here. So just take that into consideration. Shopping is a little bit different. Kind of maybe plan your shopping trolley a little bit better on how you're going to be scanning goodies. Make sure you've got sufficient bags, or you're buying sufficient bags, and you've got to be quick on that exit part if you're going with a human being scanning your products for you. So nothing is done for you, you're doing it yourself. Then petrol stations, number 3. Okay, so petrol stations, also a different experience. I know in the US it's the same thing. You pump your own gas here. So first of all, know what gas you need in your car. So if you're going with diesel, you're going with petrol, and what kind of petrol, etc. You're pumping it yourself. So nobody's there to help you. There isn't a single human being there. They're all in the store. So you basically get out your car, you pump your gas, and then you walk into the store and you pay for it. Okay. You also have to pay for air for your tires, and you pay for water, which is obviously different to South Africa, where you don't pay for those. Then the road, the rules of the road, adhered to by everyone. Speed limit adhered to by everyone. There is no one that doesn't follow the rules. People know the rules of the road really well here as well. So I find that there's just more order on the roads when compared to South Africa. There's also no minibuses and the chaos that comes with minibuses. So there's no hooting and things like that unless, someone has to for an emergency. Another thing I've noticed is they'll stop in the middle of the road for you. So if you're trying to cross the street and you've been waiting for a while and somebody sees you, they'll actually stop the traffic so you can get across the street, which is pretty cool. Okay, so that's the road. Then the other thing was houses are expensive. So if you're coming across here and you think you're going to be able to afford a house, if you're a normal person like we are, it's almost impossible. You have to start off by renting and working your way to that. So in the area that I'm in, you're looking at on average about £600,000 for about a 3-bedroom house, and these houses are tiny and generally need work. So £600,000 for a house. So if you do that, if you convert that, you'll realize it's not for everyone. When it comes to rent, quite difficult to find a house to rent if you haven't got a stable income or not working. So you've got to kind of look into that. Agencies are very strict with that sort of thing. But rentals are available depending on where you live. If you're living out in Scotland, for instance, you're looking at it being reasonably cheap. You can get something for about £500 a month. But if you're moving into areas like we're in at the moment, you're looking at about £2,000 a month for a three bedroom house with maybe a tiny garden. And you can go up to about £4,000 a month for a nice 4-bedroom house, depending on which area you're in. So take that into consideration. Alcohol is everywhere. Like, I almost think I've seen it in the pharmacies as well. So you can go into any store and find alcohol. Sorry to tell those of you that are just going into a lockdown now in South Africa, where I know alcohol is banned. So yes, alcohol is available pretty much everywhere. Parcels are left at your front door. Milk is left at your front door. Remember those old days in South Africa where you'd have the milkman drop off those bottles in the front? Well, it's available here like that. And Amazon will drop off the parcels, or Royal Mail will drop off a parcel, and it's just left at the front door and nobody takes it. Pretty cool. Furniture is available everywhere, but mostly flat packed. So if you're buying something new from like an IKEA or one of these furniture stores in the UK, it's coming to you flat packed. You have to build it yourself. So if you're a single person, a female that has never done it before, best you learn really quickly and make sure you've got a screwdriver or two on hand, because that's how it comes. The alternative to that is that you can look at Marketplace, or you can go driving around your area on rubbish days, you know, when they put out the trash, and you can find a couple of goodies sitting on the side of the road, which you're able to just collect yourself. So couches, beds, tables, chairs, they pretty much put out anything they don't want anymore. And it does seem to me that it's a bit of a disposable society where they kind of don't hold on to things for very long, maybe because of the lack of space. But in general, you'll see couches and stuff on the sides of the roads. And you can shop around like that if you want. We did a lot of ours on Marketplace, so secondhand goodies. You can't bring your stuff across from South Africa. It's too bulky. It's not going to fit in these tiny houses. So yeah, it's best to just go onto Marketplace or shop around your area. Then your postcode is your everything. I had no idea. I mean, I've moved around like 17, 18 times with my husband in the 20 years we've been together. I've obviously always known my postcode, but I'd never known how serious it is in this country. You have to know your postcode. Like ours is GU2 9XT. You have to know it. And people ask you for it all the time. Doesn't matter where you go, what website you go onto. It's important. It's imperative. It's like your second ID. The other thing is everyone, and this is number 10, everyone is polite. So I'm going to end off on a good note. Maybe even if they don't want to be, it's like it's in their nature to have to be. So people will greet you. They won't necessarily talk to you. So I found that, and a friend of mine, a South African friend of mine, actually spoke about it the other day, is in our area, people say, hiya. It's like that's their greeting, hiya. And you're like, hi, but don't go asking questions or elaborating on how you're feeling or anything, because they don't want to hear it. And they'll pretty much brush you off, but they're very polite. So it doesn't matter if you're going into a store, if you're going into a park, or you're going into the doctor's office, everybody is super polite. So yeah, those are my 10 points for today. Hope you guys are well. Hope you're looking after each other. Lots of love.